Hi everyone. Welcome to this tutorial. This tutorial will be about deploying a Django application on Oracle Cloud free tier. We're gonna do this one in a few steps. So I'm gonna deploy the Django project that I have on GitHub. Gonna test that as a dev server, how you would do on a premise or on your local machine. We do a Gunicorn installation and Nginx. There are two servers that need to be on front of Django in a production type of deployment. There are going to be a few steps, so follow along and I'll show you all of them. There are also two optional tutorial that I will record separately from this one. So we won't go for MySQL and Postgres and Autonomous at this stage. This is the setup that we're going to look at. So Django with Gunicorn and then Nginx. As I was saying, actually, I wouldn't say that, but Gunicorn will be installed as part of the requirement for Django in during the installation of the various packages. I will walk you through step by step. There are a lot of different tutorials on how to do this. I found many of them don't really work in the sense that some differences in the deployments come out, and so make things just not working, and you have to debug a lot. Plus some other mistakes that I did, and I want to make sure that you won't do that. Okay, so without any further ado, let's go to the terminal. I will use a PyCharm to run all my commands and everything else, is because it's just an integrated development environment, and you have the possibility to not only see the project, but also use the terminal, as well as see all the instructions that are over here, so I can more simply copy and paste. Okay, so we skip the SSH generation, and the very first thing that we're gonna do for completeness will be to create two different virtual machines. This one, don't bother about, it's just the old IP address. So next step will be to log in on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and create two virtual machines. I want to do with two virtual machines, so we will test at the same time on an AMD and on an ARM version. So actually, this you can see what I was testing. I won't create the virtual network because there is a wizard to do that on OCI. It's extremely easy. I won't waste your time on doing that. Now, let's create then two instances. I'm gonna reuse the same name convention. I want to use the AMD and the ARM to show you that there were minor differences that I noticed, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna make sure that every command works in the same way in both type of architecture. Okay, so this is the free one. I have two, so this one, but one is already running. You don't have to change anything, it's already on the right subnet. This is where we're gonna need to open the various ports, etc. Now I'm gonna upload the key from here. So I keep all my SSH keys that are generated with the SSH key gen command here. For simplicity, you have a look. This one is not flagged. I'm gonna make you notice how this one will be flagged by default in the ARM version. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so this is the AMD Ubuntu. All right, okay, so ready. Now, in the meantime that this one is provisioning, we can go back and create the ARM version. Here you go. Same thing. Select the Ubuntu. And then we use the Flex. Well, we can use 4 gig, 6 gig. That's okay. That shape, see, is also including your free tier. We use the same key just for sake of simplicity, so we don't have to manage different keys. And you can see that is already flagged. I'll leave that default option, so I won't change this one. Okay, so then we go back to the instances, and you see the one is already running, one is still provisioning. We're gonna use this IP addresses, and then we're gonna start connecting SSH and do and then start deploying the application. I'll come back in a second to do that. Okay, so we have created our virtual machines as we said in the previous step. So now we just need the IP addresses of both of them. So we can just copy. So this is the first one. Put it here. And then we have the other instance, and this is the IP address. We try to do the two things in parallel just to save a bit of time. Now, this is the command to use the key where you are located here. Otherwise, there is a default folder with, and also the full name for searching the SSH. But if you follow along, you should have an issue. The first time you're going to log in, it's going to ask you to confirm. We're also going to log in on the other machine at the same time. So we do these two things in parallel. So yes. Okay, so as you can see, we have here the AMD version, and here we have the ARM version. So what do we want to do now? We want to install Django as the first step. So now we have the virtual machines, we have SSH on them, everything seems to work. Actually, it's working. The next step will be to install a specific package that we need. Is the one for the virtual environment where all the Python packages will be stored to avoid conflicts between applications. I want to show you mistakes I was doing before. And the mistake is if you think that without any update and upgrade, actually the system will work, it won't. As you can see, the package won't be recognized. I also want to show you that if you Google it, you also find these other commands in order to try to resolve it, but you won't. What I found out is it was simply needed to update. We do this one in parallel, and then we have to upgrade. After done that, you will see that the Python, the virtual environment package will be possible to be installed using apt-get. Come back in a second when all of this is already done. Okay, as you can see, after we did the upgrade, we have this prompt to be open here. We just do an OK, and then it's gonna restart some of the services. We expect to have exactly the same prompt here. That is the ARM version. Okay, so now we have done the upgrade and the update. So let's clear this terminal, and now we're ready to install virtual environment. As we before, remember there was an error. Now we just press yes, and you will see everything is gonna go very smoothly. Okay, we do the same over here, and then we install the package that we need. It's gonna be a prompt as well. Okay, and then we go same here, and we go. Now, I want to use an existing application, mostly because I wanted to test the different things on a Django deployment. So we use my one of my apps that I have on GitHub and just download that. So if you follow along, all the commands will be created to set up this the project and its folder structure. I copied some commands here just as a utility. I found sometimes it makes some mistakes, and is the only way really to reset is just to delete all the folders with the recurring function. Be careful that in this case the last folder is the one that are also going to be deleted. So in a previous iteration, I actually delete everything on the Ubuntu folder, and the Ubuntu folder actually had the files to connect SSH, so I lost everything. So be careful when you use that command because it may not be reversible. All right, okay, so Django is installed. Now we have to transfer the virtual environment, the environment file where I keep all the different keys and credentials to connect to various databases or email. So we can move that from our local machine directly to the servers that we are going to use. Just a best practice. I will show you how the settings files look like in a second, even if it's not core for this training. But we have on the folder structure. We go here, you see, right? So the important part is to you see through the .env library. Sorry, to the .env. We're gonna create a .env file that is pointing to the .env file, and from there we can just read the various parameters that we have stored. Okay, so that's how it works, and that's why we need to transfer that file. Now, the command that we just saw, the SCP, right, to which we have used the right IP address now, and I set all the location, so the location match this has to be launched from our local machine. So has to be launched from here, not from Oracle Cloud Virtual Machines. Okay, so this one has been transferred. And now we transfer also, sorry. We transfer also this other one. Oh, sorry, there was a mistake in the IP address, I just noticed. Okay, is that 147, 141? Okay, let's copy it again. Just to make sure that we get to the right one. Okay, let's go on the machine here and check if they are correct. 192, okay, yeah, awesome, right. So we copy this. And then we copy the other one. And we send it. Now, if we go back on the terminal, now that's done. First of all, we can check that the directory assessment has been created. That's where all the project is going to be located. I just also gonna test that. So this is how the file is gonna look like. There are some changes that we need to do in the file. So let's review what the file. Let's access the file directly. So sudo nano. Nano is just a text editor. I think assessment, and now .env. Here you go. So this is where the file is located. We have to make two changes. First of all, we are in the remote. In here, to make things simple, I just want to use the SQLite database. Now, Control X, Y, Enter, done. I'll do the same over here. We do the remote, we comment this, and then we do SQLite. SQLite is basically a database based on file, so it should be fairly easy to configure. There's nothing actually we have to do. It should be ready out of the box. Okay, so file being configured, there is basically this next step that I just show you. If you put the absolute path, you can always get there. Now, next step is to create the virtual environment. I give the absolute path so you can check where those things will be created. So we do that in parallel. And here you go. Should take a few seconds really. And then we can activate the environment because the next few steps will need to be done within the environment. So let's activate this. And you see when it's activated, you're gonna get the virtual environment before the name and the server. The user and the server, but you are actually using CLI. Okay, so what need to be done now is to install all the different requirements. Now, we had an issue before because there was some requirements that was not installed. In regards to where they are located, you have to get into assessment as a folder. So we need to get here, and then we can install the requirements. This one may take a little bit. And here we do the same. We do assessment, and then we install the requirements. Okay, once we'll be done, once it's done, I'll come back. Okay, the installation has been successful on the AMD. We got an error on the ARM. This is related with a specific library. However, we don't really need this library now. So I commented the library because actually there's a new version. There's this one. So really would not be required for us. So I have made the changes on the requirement file, re-upload. So what we need to do now is to repull the changes so that we will have the correct requirement file. Now I can show you now that if I slow down the requirement text file, we have, you see, it's not commented. So we're gonna ask, and now from here, we can do a very nice git pull, and this one should, yeah, see the changes. So if I do now requirements, okay, now it's commented. It's not really necessary. You can change directly, but if you want to keep aligned with the Git repository, you best to follow the right procedure. Okay, so now that we have created we have installed everything, we have installed the requirement. Okay, so next step will be to basically really just open the door on the firewall in the in both Linux and Ubuntu machines, and then open the port on the on Oracle Cloud. So that's the next thing we're gonna do. Actually, what I would like to do is to open the ports here, but let the port close on Oracle Cloud, so you will see that when we try to connect, once we make the change, we will be able to do so. So I'll pause a second and then we'll come back. Okay. As we said, we have to open the port on the firewall. This is the way how to do it. There is also online a lot of tutorials that use another firewall that won't work. Not on Oracle Cloud. It's just gonna create conflicts with all the different application and just won't create the results that you want. So don't even try. I wasted so much time. So let's open the port. We use the okay, so already installed. We use the port 8000 for the server. Okay, so the dev server, I'll show you how that works. Okay, so we have done on the ARM, now we can do the same on the AMD. Okay, it should be already installed, yes. Then this one. Okay, and then sudo. Okay, so we have now created, so we are now open the ports that we need. So we can just, okay, so we are already actually in the virtual environment. I may have done a mistake of it. It does work anyway, but this one should not be done where there is a virtual environment activated. So it should have been deactivated, etc. But it shouldn't create any issue. That's why I noticed, because I don't need to do the activation now. Okay, so let's start the server here. Okay, it does start without giving any error, and we can do the same over here. No, there is an issue. Oh, yes, we have not finalized the installation of the requirements after we made the change. So apologies for that. We have to install the requirement. Pause a second, I'll come back. What happened was that we have not installed the requirements. So actually, we were installing the requirements, they blocked halfway through because one of the library was giving error. So that's why we got them problem there, where the here is started without any issue. Okay, let's finish it up, and then cool. If we do that, no model called CX Oracle. Okay, so now there is a problem on the setting files. Let me make a quick change, and I'll come back and I'll show you what's the change. Right, so I deleted the requirements, but it was still being used on the setting file. So we have to do a bit of a change. Now, as I said, for consistency, we should just re-upload this with GitHub and then re-download it again. I'll do that and then we'll come back, and I won't waste your time doing so. But if you're interested, actually, you can just go, you can just stay, and if you are not interested, you can just skip or put and change the speed. Okay, so here we got the file, we commit and push. That's why I use this, that's why I use PyCharm. It's just like so well integrated at everything. Is at arm length, so you don't have to get crazy in finding anything else. And one thing that I want to do is also to stop the server here, and we do the same pull for the changes in this environment as well, even if there is no need, because that is actually working, because we have not refreshed it. So actually the Oracle library, the old one, is still installed there. What we need to do now is to pull the changes. I'm just searching for the command is here. As I said before, you have to be on the assessment folder in order to do that. So we do this. Okay, and we do this one here. Okay, so we shouldn't get any more error now. Let's try. Okay, start. Let's see this one. Oh, sorry, mistake. I should have done this. Perfect. Okay, so both of them are now up and running. Okay, so what we can do is come in here and try if the IP addresses work. Okay, so we try this one. You can see that the port we're using is the port 8000. Okay, and then here we use this other IP address. Okay, as you can see, it's not responding, but that's because the security list doesn't have the port open. But we have actually done the command to open the port on the Ubuntu. Okay. Now if I put 8000 over here, and go back and try to refresh the page. There you go. Now it's a bit weird because I still kept the bug in place, but as you can see, both of them are now working. Okay, so the test has been positive. Okay, so both have been able to accept connection and actually to connect. So let me delete this and let me close this. Okay, let's pause for a second and we come back and restore the other. Okay, so next step following the guides that we were I showed you before is to install Gunicorn. Now I did a lot of mistake in the past when I was trying to installing it. It's absolutely important that you follow this and don't make mistakes, because otherwise it won't give you the results that you want. So one of the first mistake was that this command need to be launched first of all from the right folder. Okay, this one. So you have to be in the next one down, And secondly, has to be launched within the virtual environment. Also because we installed Gunicorn within the virtual environment as a Python package. So if you don't do that, you will get error and you will get mad to understand why that's the case. Other thing, you cannot use the full path here. It just won't accept it. I tried many times and it's just not gonna work. Now the port is 8,000. Now we go with that, and as you can see, we didn't get any error. So we try here as well, and we bind the address. So basically, it's how Gunicorn use this interface on the application in order to use this address. I won't be getting to the technicals because I don't know them either. Now, the interesting bit here is what happened to our server, frankly, is to be discovered. So let's go here. Let's test one of the two. Go 80,000. All right, so it does connect, as you can see. And if we go here, so you see that the CSS files are not served any longer. Okay, we're gonna fix this one next. But I just want to show you that everything can keep working. So let's try also the other IP address. We do this. Let's forget about that. We just want to make sure that we do step by step so you see how what is the expected result for each of the different action that we take. Okay, so we are now here and we have created the binding with the VSGF files with the interface. Okay, now, okay, we have to exit from here. And we have to exit from here. Okay, so we can create these two folders. Not too sure if we have to do anything else with this, but they were on the guide that is where some of the files will be stored. Now we have to also modify two different files. There's no problem, you can see on the virtual environment. Here I just copy the text to here, then Control X, Y, Enter. Okay, then we go over here. This Gunicorn socket. Okay, same thing. We copy this. All right. Okay. This is all in the documentation, so nothing really crazy or new. Control X, Y, and okay. Now the other file. Okay, this one is the service that Gunicorn is going to use. We did this here, and we did this here. So let's start with the AMD. Everything is pre-configured here in terms of name of folders, folder structure, etc. Pay attention to where the virtual environment is, which one is the working directory. That is the one that contains basically that manage.py, and see what's the actually the user, the group is being used, etc., etc. So change it as is required from your application. Control X, Y, Enter. Now we're the same over here. Call service. Okay, copy this. Control X, Y, yes. Okay. Now we can try to check if everything is working correctly. So we actively restarted the socket, we enable the socket. The socket we should create, yeah, we should expect to see this link being created. Okay, so we can actually now check the status of both of them. And you see is active and listening. Now we do for the Gunicorn service, so you only see that again is active and listening. All right, we do this again and now to the other server. We start, we enable, and then we check everything is correct. And it works correctly, and it does. Okay, so if you make any change on files, etc., you have to make you have to reactivate the daemon and restart Juniper. Right. So we're done with installing Juniper. No other things need to be done. Now we can jump into the final step, that is the installation of Nginx, or actually the yes, the installation configuration of Nginx. Now we don't need any longer the environment here, so we can just exit. Okay. Cool. And now we are ready to install Nginx. Be back in a second. All right, let's go to the final step. Install Nginx. Do on both location, both VMs, sorry. Okay, so okay, done. Upgrading binaries. Okay. Now, the next step, in order for the files that were not that we couldn't load before, the CSS, etc., we need to get back into our machines, okay, and launch collect static. So all the files will be moved, all the static file will be moved in a specific location that can be served by Nginx. Okay. Right, this is a problem because there was not folder over there, but it doesn't really matter. We're gonna do the same here. In the meantime, it may take a while to transfer quite a few files from this application. Okay. Once that one will be done, we can deactivate it and then modify a few other files. Okay, so the files here are being copied. We can deactivate the environment. Okay. And here we can deactivate the environment and we're good. Okay, so next step is to edit a specific file. There is the information on where Nginx would take the various files from statics media, how to serve the request basically. This one won't work straight away, fundamentally because there's a set of passwords that need to be changed in this user that we have seen before in the Gunicorn has not the right to use those files, to serve those files. So we have to make a few extra changes here, but it's extremely straightforward. So all right, so without any further ado, let's do that. We go sudo nano and we go on the no, actually the mistake here. Let me exit because I don't want to call it. Sorry, how is that possible? Where is this coming from? This one is the one we need to copy. Okay. Now, this is how the file should look like. One note. This is the IP address of the server that should work. So call out that we need to change this one. other thing, this one need to represent the main folders. And the other very important thing, the root is gonna stay the root. You don't have to change to Ubuntu as I was doing at the beginning, and I was just making my life extremely difficult because I couldn't debug it and I couldn't find what the problem was actually. Okay, so here we need to make sure that we are in the right server though. Right, so this one is the number 2, so it should be this one. Okay, everything looks correct. Control X, Y, enter. We use the 252 that was the ARM. Let's double check. There is actually the really would be silly to find a mistake like that. Okay, the 252 is the ARM. Okay. So the file is being correctly modified. Now we modify also the file. So we need to create it, but we will do with the right IP address. No other things need to be done. So we go here and copy this. Okay. And then I copy this. Okay, let me see. The 192 is the one that we want. Okay. Control X, Y. Done. Okay. Let's clear this and let's clear this. Okay. Now, the other changes that we need to do. First of all is to just do these changes. It's going to work. If you don't, you will see that when you start trying to test the Nginx, you will find some mistakes, some errors actually. So let's try to do this one. So we add data to the group, okay, and now we can test that we got access and we got the access to right, or anyway, that user has the right to access that folder. So that's okay. And now we try this, and that's okay. Now, this command is just gonna move the basically everything from the site available to the site enable. Let's do this. Okay, and let's do the same over here. Okay, everything seems to so far as worked. So if I do a sudo nginx nt, okay, magic is successful, then successful. So both are gonna work. One thing that we have not done is to open the port, because now that the default port is the one that we use over here is then 80. So it's not open by default on either server. So we do this, we do this, and then we also save as we did in the previous when we opened the port for the dev server. This is just to make sure that when there is a restart, the port is still open. So it's kind of like the persistency of this, as far as I understand. I may be mistaken here, but since has never given me any error, we'll do that. Now, if everything has worked correctly, now we should be able to reach out our servers, but now we don't need any longer the we don't need any longer to put the port 22. Okay, so the other one would be this one. Okay, as you can see, it's loading both sides and it's not giving me anything. This is because we have not opened port 80 on the OCI subnet, adding the right ingress rule to the subnet, to the security list. Okay, so this one is the port 80. Now, if I add this, and I'll try again. Welcome to Nginx. Okay. All right, so we saw this in this server. This is the server. What is happening is that that's the default page, right? We would not expect to see this one. We would expect to see our application. So why is not showing? And very simple, because we have not restarted the Nginx server. So if I give a try now, this is the instance. Okay. So if I try now to refresh, you see, now this one is Django responding. And if we do this, you see that now the CSS files are available again. Okay. So we did it all. Now you have two servers running on OCI, one on AMD, one on ARM, with a running and functioning Django application. Is using a local database. Next step would be to install more structured database. So we're gonna try with MySQL and Postgres. I did already some videos on it, so you can just look at them. But we're also gonna try to connect to them as we saw at the beginning of the tutorial. I think that's it. So one important thing I want to close with is these files are anyway saved in are they saved in sorry, in GitHub, right? So you will find all the information already. Cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, just comment, say, do a like, whatever. Get in touch if you have anything you want to share. And have fun. Thank you. Bye bye.